Did you know that some of the foods you eat every day might be quietly harming your heart? Oh, I know. It's not something we like to think about. But don't worry, I'm here to guide you gently through the foods you might want to avoid to keep your heart beating strong so you can enjoy every precious moment with your loved ones. Stay with me, because this could change your life. Welcome, dear friends, to another heartfelt episode of Elderly Life Lessons. I'm so glad you're here with me today, because we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to all of user hearts. Now, I know that as we journey through our golden years, we want to keep our hearts beating strong, full of life, and ready to enjoy every precious moment with our loved ones. But did you know that some of the foods we eat every day might be quietly working against our heart health? Oh, I know. It's not something we like to think about, but don't worry, I'm here to guide you gently through this, step by step, so you can make choices that help your heart thrive. Today, we're going to talk about the foods you might want to avoid to protect your heart. And I promise, by the end of this video, you'll feel empowered, informed, and ready to take care of yourself in the most loving way possible. Now, before we dive in, let me share a little story with you. Just the other day, I was chatting with my dear friend Margaret, who's 72 years young. Margaret loves her afternoon tea, and she always pairs it with a few of her favorite buttery biscuits. She said to me, "Oh, I've been eating these for years, and they bring me so much joy, surely they can't be that bad for me, right?" Well, I smiled and gave her a big hug, but I also knew it was time for a heart-to-heart talk about how some of our favorite treats might not be as kind to our hearts as we'd hope. And that's exactly what we're going to do today, have a heart-to-heart, just you and me, about the foods that might be putting your heart at risk, and how we can make small, gentle changes to keep it healthy and strong. Let's start by talking about why our hearts need a little extra care as we age. You see, as we move through our 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, our bodies go through some natural changes. Our blood vessels might not be as flexible as they once were, and our hearts might have to work a little harder to keep everything flowing smoothly. That's why it's so important to give our hearts the best support we can, especially through the foods we eat. Now, I'm not here to take away all the joy of eating, oh, heavens no. Food is one of life's greatest pleasures, and I believe we should savor every bite. But sometimes, a little knowledge can help us make choices that let us enjoy our meals while also protecting our health. So, let's talk about the foods that might not be the best friends to our hearts, and why we might want to enjoy them less oftener. In some cases, say goodbye to them altogether. First on our list is something that many of us have grown up with: processed meats. Oh, I know, the thought of a juicy sausage at breakfast or a slice of ham in a sandwich can bring back so many warm memories. But here's the thing, dear friends. Processed meats, like sausages, bacon, ham, and deli meats, are often packed with sodium, unhealthy fats, and preservatives that can put a strain on our hearts. You see, the sodium in these foods can raise our blood pressure, and high blood pressure is like asking our hearts to run a marathon every single day. Over time, that extra effort can weaken our hearts and increase our risk of heart disease. And those unhealthy fats, they can build up in our arteries, making it harder for blood to flow smoothly. Now, I'm not saying you can never enjoy a slice of bacon again. Life is about balance, after all, but if processed meats are a regular part of your diet, it might be time to think about cutting back. Let me share a little tip that's helped so many of my friends. Instead of reaching for a sausage or a slice of ham, try swapping it out for something just as delicious, but much kinder to your heart. For example, you might enjoy a piece of grilled chicken or turkey breast fresh, not processed, or even a handful of unsalted nuts for a satisfying crunch. Oh, and if you're missing that smoky flavor, a sprinkle of smoked paprika on your dishes can work wonders without any of the sodium or unhealthy fats. Small changes like these can make a big difference, and your heart will thank you for it. Next, let's talk about something that's often hiding in our pantry's fats. Now, I know the word fats might sound a bit scary, but not all fats are bad for us. In fact, some fats, like the ones in avocados and olive oil, are wonderful for our hearts. But trans fats? Oh, those are the ones we want to avoid as much as possible. Trans fats are artificial fats that are often found in packaged baked goods, like cookies, cakes, and pies, as well as in some margarines and fried foods. These fats are tricky because they not only raise our bad cholesterol levels, but also lower our good cholesterol, the kind that helps protect our hearts. Over time, this double trouble can lead to clogged arteries and a higher risk of heart attacks. Now, I know it can be hard to say no to a slice of store-bought pie, especially when it's sitting there looking so tempting. But here's a little secret. Many of those packaged treats aren't as fresh or wholesome as they seem, and they often contain trans fats that can harm our hearts. So, what can we do instead? Well, if you love to bake, why not try making your own treats at home? That way, you can control what goes into them and use heart-healthy ingredients like whole grain flour, fresh fruits, and a touch of honey for sweetness. And if baking isn't your thing, don't worry, there are plenty of store-bought options that are free of trans fats. Just look for labels that say 0 grams trans fat or no partially hydrogenated oils, and you'll be making a choice that's kind to your heart. Let's move on to another food that might surprise you sugary drinks. Oh, I know. A cold soda on a hot day or a sweetened iced tea with lunch can feel so refreshing. But here's the thing, dear friends. Those sugary drinks are often loaded with more sugar than our bodies need, and that extra sugar can take a toll on our hearts. You see, when we drink a lot of sugary beverages, our bodies have to work hard to process all that sugar. And over time, this can lead to weight gain, high blood pressure, and even diabetes, all of which are hard on our hearts. And it's not just sodas. We need to watch out for sports drinks, energy drinks, and even some fruit juices can be packed with added sugars. Now, I'm not here to take away your enjoyment of a refreshing drink, but I do want to share a few heart-friendly alternatives that are just as delicious. For example, why not try infusing a pitcher of water with slices of fresh lemon, cucumber, or even a few sprigs of mint? It's so easy to do, and it adds a burst of flavor without any sugar at all. Or, if you're craving something a little sweeter, a splash of 100% fruit juice in sparkling water can be a delightful treat. The key is to find options that satisfy your taste buds, while also being gentle on your heart. And remember, dear friends, our bodies are mostly water, so drinking plenty of plain water throughout the day is one of the kindest things we can do for our hearts and our overall health. Now, let's talk about something that's often a staple in many of our diets: white bread, white rice, and other refined grains. Oh, I know. A warm slice of white bread with butter can feel like a hug on a plate, and white rice is a comforting side dish for so many meals. But here's the thing. Refined grains have been stripped of much of their fiber and nutrients, and they can cause our blood sugar to spike quickly, which isn't good for our hearts. Over time, those spikes can lead to inflammation and other problems that make it harder for our hearts to stay healthy. But don't worry, dear friends, there's a simple and delicious way to make a heart-healthy swap. Instead of white bread, why not try whole grain bread? Look for labels that say 100% whole grain or whole wheat, and you'll be getting all the fiber and nutrients that are so good for your heart. And instead of white rice, you might enjoy brown rice, quinoa, or even barlach. One is packed with fiber and has a wonderful, nutty flavor that can make your meals even more satisfying. Now, I know change can feel a little daunting, especially if you've been eating a certain way for years. But I promise, these small swaps can become second nature, and your heart will feel the difference. Let's not forget about salt, dear friends. Oh, I know. Salt can make our food taste so good, and it's hard to imagine a meal without it. But here's the thing. Too much salt can raise our blood pressure. And as we've talked about, high blood pressure is like asking our hearts to work overtime. Now, I'm not saying we need to give up salt entirely after all. A little sprinkle can go a long way, but many of us are getting far more salt than we realize, especially from packaged and processed foods. Things like canned soups, frozen dinners, and even some breads can be surprisingly high in sodium, and it all adds up over the course of the day. So, how can we enjoy our meals without overloading on salt? Well, one of my favorite tricks is to use herbs and spices to add flavor. For example, a sprinkle of rosemary on roasted vegetables or a dash of cinnamon in your oatmeal can bring so much joy to your taste buds without any salt at all. And if you're cooking at home, try using fresh ingredients whenever possible. so you can control how much salt goes into your dishes. Oh, and here's a little tip. When you're shopping, look for labels that say low sodium or no added salt, especially on things like canned vegetables or broths. Small changes like these can make a big difference, and your heart will thank you for it. Now, let's talk about something that might be a little harder to hear: fried foods. Oh, I know. A plate of crispy fried chicken or a basket of golden French fries can feel like a special treat, especially on a day when we need a little comfort. But here's the thing, dear friends. Fried foods are often cooked in oils that are high in unhealthy fats, and those fats can build up in our arteries, making it harder for our hearts to do their job. And when we eat fried foods regularly, it can also lead to weight gain, which puts even more strain on our hearts. But don't worry, I'm not here to take away all the joy of a crispy treat. Instead, let's think about ways to enjoy those flavors in a heart-healthy way. For example, instead of frying, you might try baking or air frying your favorite foods. An air fryer is a wonderful little gadget that can give you that crispy texture without all the oil, and it's so easy to use. Or, if you're craving something warm and comforting, why not try roasting your vegetables or chicken in the oven with a sprinkle of your favorite herbs? You'll get all the flavor without the unhealthy fats, and your heart will be so much happier. Let's take a moment to talk about something that's often overlooked: portion sizes. Now, I know, as we age, our appetites might change, and sometimes it's hard to know how much is just right. But here's the thing, eating too much of even healthy foods can put a strain on our hearts, especially if it leads to weight gain. And when it comes to the foods we've talked about today, the processed meats, the sugary drinks, the fried food, smaller portions are always a good idea. One of my favorite ways to keep portions in check is to use smaller plates and bowls. It might sound simple, but it really works. When our plates are smaller, our portions naturally become smaller, and we still feel satisfied. And here's another little tip. Try to eat slowly and savor each bite. Not only does this help us enjoy our food more, but it also gives our bodies time to tell us when we're full, so we're less likely to overeat. Oh, and don't forget to listen to your body. Dear friends, if you're feeling full, it's okay to stop eating. Even if there's still food on your plate, your heart will thank you for it. Let's take a moment to reflect on why all of this matters. Our hearts are the engines of our lives. They've carried us through so many beautiful moments, from the laughter of our grandchildren to the quiet joy of a sunrise. And by making these small changes, we're giving our hearts the care they deserve, so we can keep enjoying all the moments that make life so special. Oh, I know, change can feel hard, especially when it comes to the foods we love, but I promise, it's worth it. And remember, dear friends, you're not alone on this journey. I'm here with you every step of the way. Before we wrap up, let me share one more story with you. A few months ago, I met a lovely gentleman named Harold, who's 78 years young. Harold told me that he used to love his daily bacon and eggs, but after his doctor warned him about his heart health, he decided to make some changes. At first, he was worried that his meals would feel boring without his favorite foods, but then he discovered the joy of oatmeal with fresh berries, and he started experimenting with new spices in his cooking. Now, Harold says he feels better than ever, and his doctor is thrilled with his progress. Oh, it just warmed my heart to hear his story, and I know you can find that same joy and energy too. So, dear friends, as we come to the end of our time together today, I want to leave you with a gentle reminder. Your heart is precious, and it deserves all the love and care you can give it. By avoiding the foods we've talked about, today processed meats, trans fats, sugary drinks, refined grains, too much salt, and fried foods, you're taking a powerful step toward a healthier, happier heart. And remember, it's not about giving up the joy of eating, it's about finding new ways to enjoy food that nourish both your body and your soul. Now, here's my special invitation to you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Life Lessons for more gentle, heartfelt tips to help you thrive in your golden years. Oh, and I'd love to hear from you. Dear friends, drop a comment below and let me know one small change you're going to make to protect your heart, or share a heart-healthy recipe that you love. And if you know someone who might benefit from this information, please share this video with them, because together we can help each other live our best, healthiest lives. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today, dear friends. Remember, you are wise, you are strong, and you are so very special. Until next time, take care of your heart and keep aging with wisdom. We look forward to spending time with you again in the next video.